Hey there, folks. Welcome to Cinema Talk. Now, this came out of nowhere. Quite literally. At Comic Con this past week or so, uh, it was revealed that that movie, The Woods, is actually a Blair Witch sequel. Technically speaking, it's Blair Witch 2, even though it's actually Blair Witch 3. But we don't talk about Blair Witch 2, except in this situation, because we're talking about Blair Witch 3. Anywho, I love found footage movies. Alright? And Blair Witch Project is the reason I love found footage movies. The strange sense of somebody can actually go out there and film something strange going on. The fear of nothing. This movie is the reason people fear the dark. It's anything can come at you at any time. When you're asleep, when you blink, anytime. And the Blair Witch Project, although not the first, did popularize the trend of the found footage movie. Without that, we wouldn't have Cloverfield, Wreck, Quarantine, Grave Encounters. We wouldn't have any of these movies. And this is why I want to talk about it here. The Blair Witch Project, in my opinion, is one of the scariest movies ever made. At the time, way back in the 1990s, this movie came out, and it was pitched as a real, maybe even real, like they just so happened to find these tapes of these kids who were lost in the woods. Never found the kids at that time, but are showing it. The internet made it seem like it was real. At the time, the internet was only a glimmer of what it is today. They even had a special documentary on the Sci-Fi Channel about the curse of the Blair Witch, interviewing some of the families of the kids who died out there in the woods, which actually may pose as a bit of a problem for this film. I'm gonna point that out. But this movie is big, and I know there's people who've never seen it, but it is the granddaddy of the found footage movies, and it's terrifying. That scene in the tent from the original movie is just one of the most horrifying things I can imagine as someone who used to go camping out in the woods. Now, originally, this movie was titled The Woods, and I remember seeing it and saying to a couple of people I know that this movie really reminds me of Blair Witch, and I was interested in going to see it, if it did well. Well, here we go. A couple months later, turns out they were waiting for Comic-Con to come out in order to give you its real title. I did some research today, and apparently the director, Adam Wingard, who's known for Your Next and the VHS trilogy, good guy, actually, went under the working title of The Woods, which was a secret. This movie was basically shot in secret. Now, I am a little bit afraid for one particular reason, and that is because of 10 Cloverfield Lane, which came out earlier this year, and which was really a trick. Pretty well made trick, but a trick. Yeah, so years and years of nothing in the Cloverfield sequel. People were sitting there wanting it, but it would never appeared. Out of nowhere, in the middle of the year, we get this movie called 10 Cloverfield Lane, which pops out and is about some people in a bomb shelter, and people were instantly like, "Is this Cloverfield? Is this a weird coincidence?" I remember I think it was like 2 in the morning. I was sitting there just typing away, looking for trailers, and this thing popped up, and I was like, "It can't be," and it was. But it really wasn't. If you've seen the film, it just kind of, apparently now Cloverfield is just a general kind of science fiction term that J.J. Abrams is using. But we didn't know that at the time. The movie was advertising it as Cloverfield. Alright, it even used the monster's roar in the trailer to make us think that it was connected to it. It wasn't. It has nothing to do with it. And that's what I'm really afraid that this movie is. I'm scared that this movie was getting made. It was going to be released. It wasn't getting that big a buzz. And I don't know where they decided to go ahead and change it to a title because it kind of looked like it. Like I said, the research says that that wasn't the case, but it could be the case. No. Like I said, this is not the first Blair Witch Project. This isn't even the second Blair Witch Project movie. This is the third. The second film was god awful. It was not found footage. It made the first film be a movie within its universe, and it's like somebody slapped Blair Witch Project on it and said, "Yup, this is what it is." Which is what I'm afraid that this movie is doing. But at least this one looks like it's found footage, I think. I remember watching the trailer going, I'm not quite sure if it is or isn't. But yeah. And that thing I was kind of worrying about with the brother of the guy. Well, basically, it seems like the plot of this movie is, if it's not playing complete reboot mode, is that somebody found the footage from the first film. All right, the families from at least one of the family members from first film, the brother of Heather from the first flick, the main character, the one who was her film. It seems like her brother has seen the footage, and has gone looking for her in the Burkittsville woods, to try and find her or the other family members. And I think it seems like there are more characters. It seems like there's almost two different sets of characters. I may have to rewatch that again, the trailer again, but whatever. It seems like they're watching the movie at the same time as they're going looking for them. And we did see some slightly Blair Witch Project-y looking things. You know, we saw the little stick men that hang from trees from the first flick and the second. And we also saw the house, what appeared to be the house from the first film with little child handprints. Yeah. It's really interesting stuff, and it does seem like we're seeing a lot, like the threat, whatever the threat is in the Blair Witch Project 1 and 2, whatever the threat is in the Blair Witch Project films, it seems much more prominent than it did in the other two films. Where in the other two films, it was kind of this mysterious force. You weren't quite sure what was really going on. There are hints and clues. Maybe they were going nuts. Maybe they were being controlled by something subtly. Whatever. Because, why in the hell, after hearing stories about people in woods getting killed, or people getting killed in the house, would you go in that very same house? It didn't make any sense in the movie. It was almost as if it was cut from a different scene or something. Yeah, so it seems like something's grabbing people in the air, something's charging folks. We very may well see what the hell the threat is in this film, which is very much the opposite of what the first flick did. Yeah. Now, if we're going to take anything from the second movie, it did have one kind of cool idea that the first film didn't have, and it was, if you watch, at least, I know, and it's probably easier to get access to in the DVD version, but I've seen the VHS version, and there are hidden things in the film that you wouldn't notice at first, like a character will like walk in one direction, and a camera will follow them, and like a picture or a frame or something behind them would change into something demonic, and then it would change back. That was kind of clever, but it didn't really stand out unless you knew what was happening, and I think I've only noticed like 2 times when I even did it. But it'd be kind of cool if they did something like that in this film. Just saying, it would kind of help with the mysterious nature of the Blair Witch universe. Well, yeah. I liked the trailer for the new film. I liked the trailer for when it was just the woods. Hopefully this will be good. This could be a surprise little hit that nobody saw coming. Or it could doom the series into another 2 decades of no sequel. Or 1 decade. I don't know when the second one came out. I think it came out a year later. Yeah, it could hold you back for another decade or so. So, be careful. All right, don't fuck up. You know, if you're gonna fuck up a found footage film, this is not the one to do it. Well, thank you so much for listening to my super extra long ass rant thing. Talk to you later. Bye.